In the novel The Great Gatsby, F. Scott Fitzgerald is using his historical and social context of the early 1920s to form the concerns of his time and establish his views surrounding the now reshaped American dream. Following the traumatic events of World War I, the world fell into a period known as the Jazz Age, full of cynicism, immense wealth, and cultural repercussions. Fitzgerald uses characters, motifs, and language to manipulate the novel's format and build upon the concept of a corrupt American dream. The ideas that shape the Gilded Age can be attributed to the exposure of the romanticized American dream during the disillusionment after the war to end all wars. It is often said that Fitzgerald's writings were significantly influenced by his surroundings. The Great Gatsby is no different. From lies to drinking, wealth or lack thereof, Fitzgerald's historical and social context greatly impacted the way he wrote, the way he expressed himself, and the way he created a novel. Fitzgerald was part of a group of writers featuring Gertrude Stein, Ernest Hemingway, and T.S. Eliot, often called the Lost Generation. These writers commonly portrayed how the American public was feeling after the harsh disillusionment of the Great War. This can be seen in Chapter 1 of The Great Gatsby. Being part of the cultural shift, Fitzgerald mocked the romantic tragedies to create a harsh realistic tragedy that now defines the modernist genre. The dramatically romanticized scene in Chapter 5, when Daisy and Gatsby are reunited, is saturated with lack of time or time moving backwards imagery, a motif that is carried throughout the novel, similar to the Grey Ashes motif throughout the scenes where Nick is visiting the Valley of the Ashes. Nonetheless, in Daisy and Gatsby's scene, it is abruptly interrupted by the ringing of the telephone, which parallels Fitzgerald's view that the fantastical idea of original American dream has now been uncovered by the reality shock brought upon by World War I. Fitzgerald's view of the American dream is this once idyllic representation of what his country stood for is now significantly manipulated and corrupted to a degree that material wealth has replaced true happiness. This is alluded to throughout the novel, via the lack of spirituality, lack of substance for life, and especially through the title character of Gatsby. Fitzgerald uses Gatsby's character to symbolize the corrupt dream, whilst utilising the surrounding characters to enhance Gatsby's correlation with the dream. Throughout the novel, Fitzgerald cleverly implies that Gatsby is a failed attempt at the American dream, that despite his earliest beginnings as a young boy trying to better himself, his motivations were falsified by his infatuation with Daisy, which turns Daisy into his American dream. Fitzgerald is saying that something happened to their once perfect American dream. America went into the war with great expectations. What they discovered when they came out truly shocked their nation and the world. Gatsby's failure demonstrates the foolishness of the dream by allowing corruption and materialism to succeed over hard work, integrity, and real love. Fitzgerald uses Gatsby's character arc to explain the ideas of the dream that are now corrupted with tainted ambition. The roaring 20s was full of living in the moment, from Art Deco to jazz, to Dada and surrealism, to lavish parties and excessive drinking. The early 1920s was a golden age in art and culture. However, this gilded image suppressed the directionless and depressed lost generation. Fitzgerald embedded these concepts throughout the non-linear structure of The Great Gatsby. Moral corruption and decline are embodied in the characters of Gatsby and Nick to reflect the American dream. Fitzgerald modifies the novel format to slowly reveal that both characters have been morally skewed by the East. The juxtaposition of Gatsby never receiving the moral redemption and Nick finding it throughout the novel as Gatsby's death is the realization that Nick needs to return home. Fitzgerald is saying that the only way to regain the once perfect American dream is to forget everything and turn back. He also knows that this is unachievable. Despite this, Fitzgerald presents an alternative: to hold on to the past, as this is all of the perfect American dream that is left.